Mayans understood the effects that these elements had on us, and were highly in touch with nature and the understanding of the cosmos. They were a very spiritual race and had great knowledge of the functions of our world. They were highly advanced with mathematics, astrology, astronomy, cylindrical systems, and hieroglyphic writing. The Mayans were known as well for their complex and highly decorative ceremonial architecture, which included temple pyramids, palaces, and observatories, which were all built without metal tools. They also had a high understanding of evolution, which you will see in a moment. The Mayans were well aware of the Milky Way galaxy as the creator of stars in our galaxy. In the classical civilizations of Mesoamerica, the Maya are probably the best known civilization. Originating in the Yucatan around 2600 BC, they rose to prominence around 250 AD in what is now known as southern Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, and northern Belize. Many believe that the ancestors of the Mayans crossed the Bering Strait at least 20,000 years ago. They were known as nomadic hunter-gatherers. More evidence of habitation in Mexico is found in the Archaic period, which is from 5000 BC to 1500 BC, where corn cultivation, basic pottery, and stone tools were discovered. They were the first to create a calendar and hieroglyphic writing in the Western Hemisphere. We will now take a look at the Mayan calendar and how it functions. The Mayans invented a calendar known as the Tzolk'in calendar. It was constructed around creation and is the most sacred of Mayan almanacs. Unfortunately, the calendar was lost when the Spanish invasion occurred on the Mayans. The Mayans prophesied the invasion and fled their village before the Spanish arrived to destroy their books and civilization. Much of the Mayan knowledge was lost due to this. The Spanish Catholic Church deemed their books to be the work of the devil and burned them, although some pages survived, but not many. The 260-day cycle was maintained by the elders in the highlands of Guatemala. The elders held on to their traditions. The calendar was more correlated to relate to the human body. It was based on the 13 major joints of the body: 2 ankles, 2 knees, 2 hips, 2 wrists, 2 elbows, 2 shoulders, and 1 neck, making it an odd number of 13. The number 13 is used a lot with regard to its use in our society and its use in astrology. An example of this would be the 13 lunar cycles per year. The fingers and toes together created a number of 20. When we take the numbers 20 and 13 and multiply them, the calculation equates to 260. In essence, this linked planetary and terrestrial cycles and anchored them to the human body through using this pattern. They believed 13 joints in the body that connected us to the galaxy and 20 galactic threads that connected our fingers and toes. These numbers are very sacred in Mayan belief. They used another calendar known as the Haab calendar. The Haab calendar is a companion to the Tzolk'in. This calendar works with the Tzolk'in to serve the needs of daily life. This calendar originated around 550 BC. The Haab is a yearly cycle, whereas the Tzolk'in relates to many hidden dimensions of the spiritual realm. In a way, the Tzolk'in and the Haab together represent the secular and sacred interest of the culture. The Haab is easier to understand than the Tzolk'in. This calendar is based off of a solar year and is more astronomical, but unlike what we use with 12 months, theirs is divided into 18 months, consisting of 20 days each. This cycle makes a 360-day year cycle, but it is followed by an extra 5 days that existed at the end of the Haab year. These 5 days were used as a transition period between the end of the old and beginning of the new, thus making it a 365-day cycle. Each of the 18 months is also named and has 20 days, although the days were numbered from 0 to 19. The 0 day established a new monthly cycle and was called the seeding of the month. No other culture has used a 0 date in their calendar, making the Mayan calendar unique in this aspect. These calendars of the Maya come together in what is called the long count calendar. The long count was created around 200 BC. It counted backward about 3,000 years to beginning date and counted forward in time about 2,000 years to the end of this era. The long count calendar is one great cycle. It's a span of 5,126 years. This is part of the precession cycle, a grand cycle of 25,630 years, which is made up of 5 great cycles of 5,126 years each. The 5 ages together make one precession cycle. This makes us in the 5th age of this great cycle. Similar to the calendar we currently use, the long count can be used to identify when one event happens in relation to another. This is also used to predict future events. The calendar is related to the creation story and is a cycle within the precession of the equinox. All these calendars relate to each other within the context of larger cycles. The 2012 date was correlated from the Tzolk'in and Haab calendars through the long count period. This is where the date comes from of 2012, a period that began in 3114 BC and ends in 2012, making the 5,126 year cycle. The long count counts the number of days that scholars generally calculate started between the date of August 11th, 3114 BC, and ends in December 21st, 2012. This is the date that the long count calendar records the 5,126 year-end cycle. The calendar expresses spiritual qualities of days and numbers, and could be used to determine auspicious days or events.